Pirate ships, from sloops to the Queen Anne's Revenge. Pirate ships were the lifeblood of seafaring rogues during the golden age of piracy. From small, agile sloops to the imposing Queen Anne's Revenge, each vessel had its own advantages, tailored to the needs of notorious pirate captains. Let's dive into the evolution of these ships and how they were built and how fast they could actually move, converting their speed from knots to miles per hour for modern understanding. Sloops, speed and agility. One of the most popular choices among pirates was the sloop. Sloops were small, single-masted vessels with fore and aft rigging, making them highly maneuverable and fast. Typically measuring around 60 feet long, these ships could carry about 75 tons and were favored for their ability to sail close to the wind. Sloops often featured a shallow draft, allowing them to navigate shallow waters and escape pursuing warships. They were typically armed with 6 to 12 cannons and a crew of around 50 to 75 men. Speed. Sloops could reach to about 11 knots, which translates to approximately 12.7 miles per hour. This made them perfect for surprise attacks and quick getaways. Construction. Sloops were often made from oak or pine, with their hulls shaped to cut through waves efficiently. The sails were usually made from tough canvas, treated with tar to withstand harsh sea conditions. Brigantines, a balance of speed and power. The brigantine was a slightly larger vessel featuring two masts, one square rigged and one fore and aft rigged. These ships struck a balance between speed and firepower, making them versatile and popular among pirates. Brigantines were about 80 feet long and could carry 100 to 150 tons. They could reach up to 10 knots or about 11.5 miles per hour. The armament. Brigantines typically carried 12 to 18 cannons, with the crew ranging from 100 to 150 men. This combination of firepower and agility made them ideal for both combat and long voyages. The construction, made primarily from oak, brigantines were sturdier than sloops but slightly slower. Their dual rigging gave them flexibility in maneuvering and sailing against the wind. Schooners, sharp and streamlined. Schooners were known for their sleek, sharp profiles and were commonly used by pirates in the Caribbean. They featured 2 or more masts with fore and aft sails, making them nimble and easy to handle. Schooners could reach speeds of up to 12 knots, which is roughly 13.8 miles per hour. Armament. Generally equipped with 8 to 12 small cannons, they carried a crew of about 50 to 80 men. Built for speed, schooners had narrow hulls and were crafted from lighter wood like pine. This reduced weight and allowed them to glide swiftly over the water. Frigates, the heavy hitters. Frigates were much larger than sloops or schooners, typically measuring around 100 to 150 feet in length and displacing up to 500 tons. They featured 3 masts and were square rigged, giving them a powerful silhouette. Despite their size, frigates could still reach about 14 knots, approximately 16 miles per hour, making them surprisingly fast for their bulk. They were often armed to the teeth, carrying up to 40 cannons or more. They could accommodate a crew of around 200 to 300 men. Built from sturdy oak, frigates were made to withstand prolonged battles in high seas. Their size and firepower made them formidable, but they were less agile than smaller vessels. This brings us to one of the most widely known ships, the Queen Anne's Revenge, Blackbeard's legendary ship. Perhaps the most infamous pirate ship of all, originally a French slave ship named La Concorde, Blackbeard captured and modified it into his flagship. The vessel measured about 103 feet long and could carry 300 tons. Capable of reaching 8 to 9 knots, or about 9 or 10 miles per hour, it wasn't the fastest ship, but it was imposing. Equipped with 40 cannons, it was a floating fortress. The ship's size and weaponry made it more intimidating than agile, which suited Blackbeard's fearsome reputation. Initially built to transport slaves, it had a reinforced hull and ample cargo space, making it durable and capable of carrying significant plunder. To give some perspective on speed, here's how these ships compare. Sloops, 11 knots, 12 miles per hour. Brigantines, 10 knots, about 11.5 miles per hour. Schooners, 12 knots, 13.8 miles per hour. Frigates, 14 knots, 16 miles per hour. Queen Anne's Revenge, 8 or 9 knots, 9 or 10 miles per hour. While modern ships can easily outpace these speeds, back then, even a few knots of difference could mean life or death in a chase. Navigating the seas, the pirate advantage. While speed was crucial, pirates also relied on their intimate knowledge of the local waters to evade capture. They often used small, fast ships to scout ahead or ambush larger vessels. The ability to tack against the wind, a skill made easier by fore and aft rigging on sloops and schooners, gave pirates a vital edge in evading capture. Pirates didn't just randomly choose their ships. They carefully selected them based on the needs of their crew, their fighting style, and the waters they operated in. The speed, firepower, and maneuverability of pirate ships made them formidable opponents, while their fearsome reputation often did half the work before the battle even began. From the agile sloops to the daunting presence of the Queen Anne's Revenge, pirate ships were more than just vessels. They were instruments of fear, freedom, and fortune. The next time you see a Jolly Roger flying high, remember the craftsmanship, the cunning, and the chaos that made these ships legends of the sea.